Hi everyone, Shivananda Sharma Memorial RV College Video Lectures and ISR Initiative. SSMRV College, one of the premier institutes run by the prestigious RV group of institutions, has come up with a unique initiative to engage students at the time of this unforeseen medical emergency caused by corona outbreak. As a socially responsible institution, we would like to connect academically with students to make good the losses caused. In this connection, I, Pallavi of Department BBA, is posting a video on the subject financial management and the topic payback period. Please watch the video till the end and like, share with your peer groups and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you. This is a chapter investment decisions. First, let's understand what are the different techniques of evaluation of investment. There are two techniques, traditional and discounted cash flow methods. So on the traditional methods, they are payback period method and accounting rate of method. It is also called as ARR. And the second technique is discounted cash flow methods. Under that, NPV, net present value, IRR, internal rate of return, and profitability index method. There are three methods under this. So guys, payback period method is one of the simplest and traditional methods of capital investment evaluation technique. Now I would like to give you an example. If you open your own mobile showroom, so if you have invested 5 lakh as your initial investment, so how much time do you need to recover your initial investment? That means to get back your 5 lakh, how much time you need? To know that, we calculate payback period. Okay, so it is defined as the initial outlay required divided by gross earnings. In other words, the term payback period refers to the time in which the project will generate the necessary cash to recover the initial investment. I hope you guys understood with the example whatever I gave. So now let's see how to compute payback period. So payback period we calculate with original investment divided by annual cash flow. That means annually how much cash you will earn. Okay, that is when the annual cash flows are constant. When suppose you earn 10,000 every day or every month, 10,000 is your earning, that is constant. See, this month 10,000, next month it is 20,000, the next month it is 15,000. If it fluctuates like that, then there are different cases to calculate payback period. First of all, you guys should understand when the annual cash flows fluctuates, what we need is profit after tax but before depreciation. Okay, so here they have given case 1 when PAT but before depreciation is given, so that itself is your cash flow. So please keep in mind, for payback period, profit after tax before depreciation is what we need, and that is considered as the cash inflow. And the case 2, when PAT is given, so if PAT is given, add depreciation to that and that will be your cash flow. And case 3 is when PBT is given, that is profit before tax. So when profit before tax is given, you have to minus tax from PBT, that becomes your PAT. Now you have to add depreciation to that, then it becomes the cash inflow for you. And the last case is when PBT and tax is given. So when PBDT is given, that is profit before depreciation and tax. So your cash flow will be calculated like this: PBDT minus depreciation is equal to profit before tax minus tax, you will get profit after tax. Now you have to add the depreciation back, that becomes your cash inflow. I think it is very easy and simple to understand. Once again, I am reminding you, for payback period, profit after tax plus depreciation is what you need. Okay, when the annual cash flows fluctuates. Now let's look at the first illustration when the annual cash flows are constant. Okay, so I'll read out the problem. The directors of Alpha Limited are contemplating the purchase of a new machine which has been in operation in the factory for the last 5 years. So for the last 5 years the machine has been working. Ignoring interest but considering tax at 50% of net earnings, suggest which of the two alternatives should be preferred using payback period method. Now let's see what are the information they have given. So guys, we have information of old machine and a new machine. The purchase price they have given, it is 40,000 and 60,000. Estimated life is 10 years. So machine running hours per annum is 2,000 for both the machines. Units per hour is 24 for old machine, and for new machine it is 36. Wages per running hour is 3, and new machine it is 5.25. We have power, they have directly given the amount. Consumable stores, again directly they have given the amount. Other charges, directly they have given the amount. Material cost per unit 0.5 and 0.5 for both the machines. Selling price is 1.25 for both the machines. Now first thing what we have to calculate here is, we have to calculate the number of units what old machine produce and new machine produce. So guys, we have units per hour 24 and 36 for new machine, and we also have machine running hours per annum. If you multiply this, you will get your units for both the machines. And next they have given wages per hour. So with multiplying the units, you will get the wages. So by multiplying the wages per hour into machine running hours, you will get wages, and other items are other items direct amount is given. Sales per unit they have given, into the number of units you will get the sales. And to calculate direct material, you have per unit given. So into the units, if you multiply with units, you will get the direct material amount. So I have demonstrated the entire problem. Please watch the video. So guys, now let's see, when the annual cash flows fluctuates, how to calculate the payback period. I'll read out the illustration. A company is considering an investment proposal to install a new machine. The machine will cost 50,000 and will have a life of 5 years, and there is no salvage value. The company's tax rate is 50%, and the company uses straight line method of depreciation. The estimated net income before depreciation and tax is proposed investment proposal. From the proposed investment proposal is as follows. We have to calculate the payback period. We have year and the amount, and this amount is nothing but PBDT, that is profit before depreciation and tax. So I have demonstrated the entire problem in the video. If you have any doubts or queries, please feel free to ask me. I hope you understood the previous problem. Now let's understand this question. Now the format is, when annual cash flows fluctuates. So I'll read out the illustration. The following information is available pertaining to machine X. Initial investment is 10 lakh. Required rate of return is, this is interest, okay, 10%. Cash flows in various years they have given. Payback period ignoring interest factor. Payback period taking into account the interest factor. So in this problem we have to calculate two different types, okay, that is ignoring interest factor, and second is taking into account interest factor. Also one thing we have to observe in this problem, the cash inflows are directly given. The amount whatever they have given is the cash inflows, so we don't have anything to calculate like depreciation, tax or anything. This is directly profit after tax plus depreciation. Okay, I'll read out. So I have demonstrated this problem too. Please watch the video. If you have any doubts, please do ask me. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day. Now I will be showing you how to calculate annual cash flows. Okay, so now I am showing the method, and when the annual cash flows are constant, how to calculate. Okay, as I have already explained, payback period formula is initial investment divided by annual cash flows. So in this problem they have given as per units. Okay, so they have given machine running hours, and they have given units per hour. So machine running hours is 2000 and 2000 for old machine and new machine, and units per hour is 24 and 36. So based on that you have to multiply and calculate the number of units. Okay, 2000 into 24 is 48,000, and 2000 into 36 is 72,000. So we will know how much, how many units will be produced both by old machine and new machine. Now let's calculate sales. See, they have given in the problem selling price per unit. So for old machine also it is 1.25 and new machine also 1.25. You can see in the question. So 1.25 into 48,000 units is nothing but 60,000 sales, and 1.25 into 72,000 units is 90,000 sales. So you got to know how to calculate sales. Now let's calculate the cost. After receiving the sales, what are the costs which the company will incur? Next, first one is direct material. So for the direct material, we have machine running hours per annum given, and we have material cost per unit. Okay, that is 0.50 for old machine, and even for the new machine it is 0.50. So 48,000 into 0.50 is 24,000, and 0.50 into 72,000 is 36,000. And then wages they have already given that 3 rupees for old machine and 5.25 for old new machine. So based on that you can calculate. When you calculate, it will get 6,000 and 10,500. So power per annum they have given directly. You can take the amount 2,000 and 4,500. And consumable stores they have given directly 6,000 and 7,000. I have written it. And then they have other charges, that is 8,000 and 9,000. These are all the expenses incurred by the company. Okay. And then depreciation they have given estimated life of machine. Correct. So purchase price for the old machine is 40,000 and the estimated life of the machine is 10 years. So 40,000 divided by 10 is 4,000, and purchase price of new machine is 60,000 and estimated life is 10 years. So again 60,000 divided by 10 is 6,000. So depreciation for old machine and new machine. So these are the expenses or the cost incurred. So sales minus expenses or the total cost, you will get profit before tax. Okay, profit before tax. How do you calculate profit before tax? Is sales minus cost, total cost. So now I have minused it. So 60,000 minus 50,000 is 10,000. 90,000 minus 73,500 is 16,500. So next we have to deduct tax. Tax is already given in the question. It is 50%. So 10,000 into 50% is 5,000. 16,500 into 50% is 8,250. And the same would remain. So now it will become profit after tax, PAT, profit after tax. Now to this we have to add depreciation. You all know that for payback period the depreciation should be added to profit after tax. If the profit, if the depreciation is not deducted, then you can directly take it. Otherwise you have to deduct like this and add the depreciation. So depreciation we have already calculated. You have to add 4,000 and 6,000. Now you will be getting annual cash flow. I will be showing you how to calculate payback period. So payback period for old machine is initial investment divided by annual cash flow. So purchase price of old machine is 40,000 and the annual cash flow is 9,000. So what is the old machine payback period? It's 4.44 years. Okay. And now let's calculate PBP for new machine. So the purchase price is 70,000 and the annual cash flow is 14,250. Sorry, the purchase price of new machine is 60,000. I have wrongly taken it as 70,000. So it is 60,000 and the answer is 4.21 years. So this is how you calculate payback period when the annual cash flows are constant. Okay. Guys, now I'll be explaining you how to calculate annual cash flows when they fluctuate. Okay, so we have this data year. We have 5 years data and they have given earnings before depreciation and tax, EBDT. So they have given us 10,000, 11,000, 14,000, 15,000 and 25,000. So to now first thing what we have to do is we have to calculate depreciation. The purchase price of the machine is 50,000 and the number of estimated life is 5 years. So 50,000 divided by 5 is 10,000. So 10,000 would be the depreciation for all the 5 years. Okay. So now minus depreciation, 10,000 minus 10,000 is 0, 11,000 minus 10,000 is 1,000, 14,000 minus 10 is 4, 15 minus 10 is 5,000, 25,000 minus 10,000 is 15,000. Now earnings before depreciation and tax. We have minus depreciation. Now what we have to do? We have to minus tax. So what the resulting answer after we minus depreciation is earnings before tax. Okay, so tax at 50%, which is already given in the question. So as it is already 0, 0 would be the answer. So for 1,000 it is 500, for 4,000 it is 2,000, for 5,000 it is 2,500, so 15,000 it is 7,500. Now the resulting answer will be earnings after tax. Okay, so you will copy the same because it is 50%. So after earnings after tax, you have to add back the depreciation. Okay, as I've already told you, for payback period it is always profit after tax plus depreciation. So 0 plus 10,000 is 10,000, 500 plus 10,000 is 10,500, 2,000 plus 10,000 is 12,000, 2,500 plus 10,000 is 12,500, 7,500 plus 10,000 is 17,500. Only one item or one column which will be extra for annual cash flows when they fluctuate is you have to calculate cumulative cash inflow. Okay, you have to calculate what? Cumulative cash inflow. So how do you calculate? You will have to add the succeeding years cash inflow. First you will write as it is. For the second column, you have to add 10,000 plus 10,500. So the cumulative cash inflow is 20,500. For the third year, it is 20,500 plus 12,000. It is 32,500. For the next year, it is 32,500 plus 12,500. So it is 45,000, and next 45,000 plus 17,500 is 62,500. Okay. Now I will show you how to calculate payback period. Guys, now I will tell you how to calculate payback period when annual cash flow fluctuates. It is quite different. Please listen carefully, understand. So the purchase price of the machine is 50,000, right? So you have to first look into cumulative cash inflow. So the amount should be nearest to 50,000, or if 50,000 itself is there, then well and fine. So when I look at this, the 50,000 nearby, it is 45,000 and the year is 4 years, right? So first thing what you have to do is 4 years you have to write, okay? And then what is the purchase price? 50,000, right? So 50,000 minus 45,000 is how much? 5,000. 5,000 you have to write it here. And now you have to see the next year's cash inflow to calculate the payback. That is immediately next year. So fourth year it is 45,000, nearest amount for purchase price. Now to calculate that, you have to take next year's cash inflow, that is 17,500. So 4 plus 5,000 divided by 17,500, you will get the answer 4 years, 3 months and 13 days. So the payback period for this machine is 4 years, 3 months and 13 days. So this is how you calculate payback period when the annual cash flows fluctuate. Okay. Now the second illustration under annual cash flows when they fluctuate is, we have two things to calculate. One is to calculate payback when the interest is being ignored, and the second question is you have to consider the interest rate and then calculate the payback period. Now first question I'll be showing you how to calculation of PVP ignoring interest factor. So we have the data of year and cash inflows. So they have told that it is profit after tax before depreciation. So we are taking the cash inflows directly as it is given in the question. So 5 years and cash inflows given, you just have to calculate the cumulative cash inflow. As I told in the previous problem, 1 lakh plus 4 lakh is 5 lakh, 5 lakh plus 6 lakh is 11 lakh, 11 lakh plus 6 lakh is 17 lakh, 17 lakh plus 2 lakh is 19 lakh. Now the initial investment given in the question is 10 lakh. Now let's see where the 10 lakh is there. So here it is 11 lakh. 11 lakh is greater than 10 lakh. So we can't consider this. So the previous one is 5 lakh. So we can consider this, and the year is to a second year, year 2. So now PVP is 2 plus the initial investment is 10 lakh. 10 lakh minus 5 lakh is 5 lakh, and the cash inflow of the next year, and the cash inflow of the next year is 6 lakh. So 6 lakh. PVP is equal to second year plus 10 lakh minus 5 lakh is 5 lakh divided by the preceding year's cash inflow, that is 6 lakh, and the answer would be 2 years and 10 months. So this will be the payback period when the interest is ignored. Next I will show you how to calculate PVP when the interest rate is considered. Now calculation of PVP taking interest factor into consideration, how to calculate, let's see. See, in the question they have already given cash inflows. So directly they have given cash inflows, and they have given interest rate as 10%. Guys, if you remember, I have told you how to calculate the PV factor. So if they have given 10%, it is nothing but 10% is 10 divided by 100. So it is 0.1, right? So 1 plus 0.1 is 1 plus 1 divided by 1. So 1.1 you will get. So 1 divided by 1.1 you will get 0.909. If you do is equal to you will get these numbers. I have already taught you this in the class, how to calculate PV factor. Now you have to multiply cash inflows into PV factor. You will be getting the present value. So when you multiply 1 lakh into 0.909, you will get 90,900. When you multiply 4 lakh into 0.826, you will get 3,34,400. Then you multiply 6 lakh into 0.751, you will get 4,50,600. And then when you multiply 6 lakh into 0.683, you will be getting 4,09,800. And then you will when you multiply 2 lakh into 0.621, you will be getting 1,24,200. So same like the previous problems, you have to calculate cumulative present value. Usually we used to calculate cumulative cash inflow, right? Now we have to calculate cumulative present value. So 90,900 as it is, then add this and this, you'll get the this answer 4,21,300. And then as it is, how to calculate, how to calculate cumulative present value. Now I will show you how to calculate PVP. So the initial investment is 10 lakh. So the nearest is 8,71,900, because next one is 12 with it is more than 10 lakh. So nearest is 8,71,900 and the year is 3 years. So 3 plus 10 lakh minus 8,71,900, you will get the answer 1,28,100. Okay, and next the next value is 4,09,800. So when you calculate this, you will get the answer 3 years, 3 months and 22 days. So this is how you calculate when you have an interest factor given. Okay, I hope you all understood the problem. If you have any doubts, you can always text me or call me.